So hey, you clicked on this video wondering, what does a floor runner actually do? Maybe you just got your first job in TV, or maybe you want to know more about the filmmaking process. Well, this video's got you covered on all bases. In this video, I'll talk to you about the roles of a floor runner and the day-to-day process of what a floor runner goes through. So here we go. Being a floor runner starts the night before by reading the call sheet. You will receive a call sheet from a second AD or a member of a production team. This call sheet is basically your Bible and will tell you all the key information that you need to know on your day of shooting. On the call sheet you will find your call time, unit call time, where unit base is located, where location is located, how many scenes you're filming for that day, whether they're inside or outside, what the weather is like that day, and you'll also find key information of crew members such as names, departments and phone numbers. You'll also get information about how many actors are in for that day, whether there are any fittings, or if there are any supporting artists for that day that you need to look after. So it's your first day on set, and I recommend getting there just a bit earlier than your call time, though you don't have to do this, but I would recommend it so you just get an idea of what unit base is like. You can find out the production truck and the other key trucks such as the makeup and costume truck, and you're able to sit down and have a nice breakfast and a cup of tea. So now you want to head on to the production bus. There you'll meet your AD team. You'll meet the other runners who you'll be working very closely with, your third AD who will give you a radio and a call sheet, and your second AD. The second AD will give you a bit of a briefing about what you'll be doing today. You may have been brought in to cover another floor runner, or as an extra pair of hands helping with extras or a specific member of cast. So if you're on a job from start to finish, you're one of the key floor runners, so talk with your second about a plan that you can stick to each day to make sure things are going swimmingly. One of the things you'll be doing in the mornings is getting artists through their calls. So that means making sure artists are going into their costume calls and hair and makeup calls at the correct time. Those calls are going to be on the call sheet. Very important to get the artist through at the correct time on the call sheet. They're there for a reason, and it means that people won't be overlapping in hair and makeup or costume, and it also makes sure that they're on set for the correct time. When you see that the artist has arrived, you want to make sure you message the AD group of what time they have landed at base, and you want to say relay on radio so everyone knows that they are there. So after getting the artist breakfast for them, you are going to be following the call times. So on the call sheet, you'll see the call times for hair, makeup and costume. You want to be following those times and making sure the artists are in the right place at the right time. So it's always good to check a couple of minutes before with hair, makeup and costume if they are happy to see the artist at the correct call time. So for example, if John has a call time at 1:45 for makeup, I would pop in at 22 and I would say to John's makeup artist, "Hey, are you happy to see John in 5 minutes time?" They might be like, "Yes, that's perfect, bring them in 5 minutes time." Or they could say, "Oh, actually, I'm free now, so I can bring them in earlier." Or they might say, "There might be a bit of delay, we might need John at 10 to." If that's the case for the last one, I would always just message the second or say on radio, just so they're aware that John might be going into makeup 5 minutes late. So the makeup artists are great, bring them in at 1:45. So I would go and wait outside John's trailer and give him a knock at 1:45 and politely ask, "Hey John, can I invite you to hair and makeup please?" You want to escort John politely into hair and makeup and then put in your AD chat when they sit in the chair. So you'll have to do this for multiple actors, and if you're working with any of the SAs, you'll have to be doing it with them as well. So the artists are going for their calls, fantastic. Now I would always recommend one runner to be around that area just to keep track if anyone pops out of makeup or goes to the toilet or anything like that, so you're keeping an eye on the artist all the time. So if the other runner is doing that, I would make sure that you're packing the tea table onto the bus with any additional things such as umbrellas and artist chairs. So once that is done and the artists have finished their calls, you want to make sure the artists are going into the unit cars at the correct time. It's always good to give them a little 5-minute warning before their transport is going to leave, so if they need to go to the toilet or anything, they're able to do so. So I would always recommend giving costume and makeup a 5-minute warning before the artists head out. This ensures them, if they need to travel with the artist, that they travel with, and also if they need to do any additional checks before they head to set. So now the artist is leaving and you might be leaving with them. If that is the case, make sure that you put in the chat when you're leaving with the artist and what time you land at location. When you're close to set, you want to be in touch with your third AD to find out if they need to go straight into rehearsal or if they're going to go into rest off first. When you land, you need to talk to your third AD or the locations department to see where the artist rest off is and where set is. When the artist is being escorted to either rest off or set, you want to start setting up the tea table. You want to talk to the locations department about where the best place it is to set up the tea table. Once you're on set, you're going to be listening to your third AD. Your third AD will tell you what to do and when to do it. Things your third AD might ask you to do. Locking off. Locking off is making sure everyone is quiet during a take and no one walks into frame. Standing by for an artist. So you could be standing by outside the rest off for the artist, waiting for them to be called to set. When they are called to set, you invite them and escort them to set. Making teas and coffees. You'll be making teas and coffees for the actors, the directors, your departments, so the first AD and third AD, and then maybe some other HODs such as the script supervisor and the DOP. It's always good to offer teas and coffees before they're asked for, and you don't have to make teas and coffees for everyone. Departments like the camera department will have their own trainee who will be making teas and coffees for that department. Your third AD might ask you to do SAQs as well. This is where you're going to be queuing an SA at a specific time. So you want to make sure that you grab a pair of headphones from the sound department and an IFB, and that you've got your sides on you. Talk to your third AD, they will give you the line that they want you to cue the SA on, and then you're going to be queuing them during a take. You want to look at the call sheet as well to see if there are any makeup changes or costume changes that are happening. And you want to speak to makeup and costume if they're going to be happening on location or back at base. It's always good to find out as much information as possible and pass it on to your third AD just in case they are too busy to know at that specific time. So you also want to check on the call sheet if there is any unit moves that's moving from one location to another. If that's the case, make sure that you are packing the tea table down at least one setup before the move so it's nice and ready to move to the next location. So it's mid-morning now, so you want to make sure morning snacks are coming from base. Make sure that when they arrive, you give them to the HODs and artists first, and then put them on the tea table to be spread out to the other members of crew. So the lunch menu has come through and you want to make sure you are taking lunch orders. You want to take lunch orders from the artist, the director, the first AD, maybe the third AD, the script supervisor, the DOP, and then any producers or special guests that are on set at that time. So it's coming close to lunchtime now, and you want to be checking the travel plan your third AD has made. This will be a plan that the third AD has come up with that will tell you who's going in which vehicle and when they are going. So you've landed back at base now following the third AD's travel plan. You want to be finding the catering truck and start getting lunch orders sorted. You can usually enter through the back way, but it depends on the catering company. You want to take the orders to the artists and the HODs that you've taken the orders for. So once you've sorted lunch orders, you're on your lunch now, so make sure you get food and have a nice little rest. So lunch is coming to a close and you want to be checking with your second and third AD to see who is going to go into after lunch checks. This might be done at base or at location, so find out the information from the second or from the third. Doing post-lunch checks, there'll be an order of when the artists need to be seen, so make sure you're following that order so it can go as quickly and smoothly as possible. So the afternoon now is very similar to the morning. You'll be travelling back to location with the artists and then following your third AD for any orders they may have. In the afternoon, you'll have to organise afternoon snacks coming to set. Very similar to morning snacks, so make sure the artists and HODs get them first and make sure that there's enough for the rest of the crew as well. So it's coming close to wrap now, so make sure you're packing away the tea table so you can get away quickly and efficiently. And a wrap has just been called. Now, you can't go home yet. You need to make sure that you're following the transport plan given by the third AD to make sure everyone is getting away efficiently and quickly as possible. So you've landed back at set now. You need to make sure that you pack away any tea table items and any extra bits and bobs that can go on the production bus. So once you've packed everything away, check with your second AD to see if there's any more jobs to do around the base. You might have to stand by with an artist D-rig. If that's the case, just stand by. When they finish out of hair, makeup and costume, make sure you log the time and make sure you log the time that they head back to their hotel in their transport. Other jobs you might do at the end of the day, you might be putting call sheets in the artist trailers for the next morning. You also might be taking the signs off artist trailers and putting new ones in if there are any new artists coming in. You also might just be doing a little tidy up, making sure the production fridge is tidy and there's no rotten milk in there. So that should be your first day on set. Hopefully this guide has been helpful. If there's any questions, please leave them below. And if you think I've missed anything else, make sure you put them in the comments for others to see. And hopefully I'll be seeing you on set soon. Goodbye.